And now Nick's going to share for us.
My name is Nick, and I'm an addict.
Nick.
Yeah, what a privilege to be sharing it, on the 10th year anniversary of CA, in the place where I've recovered and I've got this amazing life, and the reason I'm sharing tonight is to share my experience, strength and hope in a new person, the person who is struggling with life, and that's what happened to me. When I came into this meeting, I was clean, sober, but I was in bits, in total bits. I couldn't do life at all, and I needed help. I'll share a bit about what my using was like. I go back to when I was a kid. I was a highly sensitive person. I was really shy. I used to blush a lot, and I found being around people hard, but I always had a front, bravado, and the same with drugs, and drink. It helped me fit in a bit more, but when I did drink and use drugs, I seemed to be this Jekyll and Hyde, which she says in the book. I definitely did disgusting, even dangerously antisocial things, from a young age. And my using got worse, and I can remember having a decent job, 18, 19 years old, had a nice car, lovely clothes. I lived with my mum. On the outside, I looked okay. People looking at me thought he's doing well, but on the inside, I was in pieces. I used to go to work in this decent job with normal people and struggle like mad. I just couldn't do people at all. Every time people said things, I was highly sensitive. I used to walk away with resentments constantly, thinking, why did he say that? She say this, he say that. My head would race out of control, all the time, and I just couldn't get on with people, so I'd stick my head into my work, and that's all I would do, and I'd get home and I'd use drink and drugs to sleep in the night, because I couldn't sleep, because my head would race so much. And that's my story, and this is a progressive illness, and that's what happened, I started getting into heavier drugs, and it wasn't long, my family couldn't deal with me no more. My family done the right thing, they said out. And then I've still got this decent job. I haven't got a car now. I'm starting to get a bit worse and worse away, and I'm living in this homeless shelter now, and I'm going to work in this decent job, coming from the homeless shelter with this old scraggy jumper on with all food down the front and trying to keep it together, but I couldn't keep it together, I'm trying to hold this job down, put on fronts and bravado, but I was in pieces all the time going to work, And in the end, the job gave me, I was on the sick for 3 years, and my job said, look, you've got a choice. Get off all the medication you're on, get off all the drugs and come back to work, or we're going to have to let you go, And I said, yeah, but in the back of my mind, I didn't know how I was going to do it, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, a month later, I ended up in jail instead, and that was my journey, and then I left jail. I said to my family after promises on visits that I will never ever go back to that again. I promise you when I come out I will settle down, I'll sort my head out, I'll get another job, you watch, I'll sort myself out. The day I was released I was on the floor, someone found me in the middle of the road, they took me home to my parents after somehow getting the address out of my mouth, and my family carried me back into the home, and this happened again and again and again and again, I went into treatment again, I thought, here we go, I'm in treatment, I'll sort myself out, I could hear the Rocky music in the background as I'm on the train going down there thinking, that's it, I'm going to sort my act out now, I'm going to get well, and you know what I mean? And again, I'd go upstairs hiding cans under my bed in this treatment centre, and then after they caught me, they'd throw me out, and I'd think, why? And I'd blame other people, always good for blaming other people, and again, that happened again and again and again. And when I came to Plymouth, I was hammered by all this stuff. This cycle, just kept going round and round and round, and I couldn't see no way off. By then I didn't believe in treatment centres, I didn't believe in meetings either, because I went to meetings and just felt so self-centred. I'd sit there for an hour and a half just thinking, oh, did I say my name's Nick and I'm an addict, right? And then I'd analyse it for days. I'd go into a meeting, I'd analyse for days before going to a meeting and analyse for days out of a meeting, and that's what it was like. I can remember being in a treatment centre and saying to the counsellor, when the counsellor said, look, you need to go to meetings, that's how you're going to get well, and saying, but I hate people. You put me into a room full of people and I hate people. And it was all fear. And as I say, I came to Plymouth and I got to that jumping off place, but I thought, I don't need meetings, I'll do it on my own, and as the days turned into months, my thinking got worse and worse and worse. I couldn't be around people. I can remember being sat in my halfway house in Plymouth, and I'd have a TV on, I'd have the radio on, and my head would be racing out of control, analysing what happened that day. he said this, she said that, why did he say that, why did she say this? I mean, these people I'd never met, some of them, and I'm sat there for days analysing things they've done. You know, and that's what it was like. My head wouldn't stop racing. I tried to sleep in the night. If I was lucky, I'd get 2 hours sleep, and then I'd wake up and my head would start straight away as soon as my eyes opened. You know what I mean? I still looked ill. I was thinking so much, I looked ill. You know, I'd been clean and sober a few months by then, and I looked ill, you know. And then I came into this meeting where I heard the solution, you know, which I know as death and weight today. I was blown away by this. You know, I wanted what you people was talking about, and I was going to get it. I mean, finally, I can recover. You know, and people weren't talking about just the obsession for drink and drugs being lifted, you know, but they were also talking about living a normal life, like the other half live, and I wanted it, you know what I mean? You know, I wanted to be happy, joyous and free, you know, and I started going through the steps, you know, and you know, I got to step 3 and I found a higher power, you know, and of my own conception. You know, I didn't struggle. I was battered. You know, I used to think believing in God was uncool. I was far from cool. Far from cool in the end of my using. Do you mean I was a bum? I was a loser. I had nothing. And that's what my journey was, you know, my own conception. You know, I got to step 4 and I threw the work in. I wanted to get to step 5 because people said when you get to step 5 you'll be buzzing. They will lift all that anger, all that rubbish will hold you down and you will be buzzing, you know. And I can remember doing my step 5 with my sponsor, and you know, I was really ill at the time. I had a flu and I had colds, and I can remember reading all this stuff out and not thinking nothing of it. But within a day, the cold is gone, and I'm walking down the street and I'm bopping. I mean, a weight has been lifted off my shoulders, and I'm floating down the street thinking, this is what these people are talking about. I am buzzing. I want more of this, you know. And 6 and 7, I handed all this over to my higher power, and then I got to 8 and I thought, oh, more writing again, you know. AA, it was it, A-level AA, you know. But I wanted to get to step 9, because again, people were talking about step 9, and I got cracking on my step 8, and I got to step 9. I went home to make amends to my family, and what an amazing step. I changed then. Do you mean my whole perspective changed on life? You know, I thought of others more. I cared about a newcomer, you know. And making amends, what I want to finish on, I made amends to my family, and my parents accepted my amends, and my brother, he didn't really accept, he just laughed. He thought it was quite odd, you know. But a year and a half later, he came to my wedding and said, you know what, brother, I'm proud of you. He said, the next time I see you in the church, I thought it'd be at your funeral. And to see you today, married, and doing what you're doing, I am proud of you, brother. And I didn't think that would ever happen, you know. And this is thanks to CA. Thanks to CA, I'm married today, which is another miracle. You know, I'm married, I got a job, which is another miracle. Do you know what I mean? And I'm living happy, joyous and free. I've got a solution every day, and life keeps getting better, you know. And I love CA. And anyone sat here now who ain't on the steps or got a sponsor, you know, I can guarantee you get a sponsor, you know, you start doing what I have done, I can promise you'll have a life beyond your wildest dreams like myself. Thanks.